Okay, good morning. This is Larry again, and we're going to do Contact Report 72. Okay, this one was translated by Larry Driscoll. Corrections and improvements made by Catherine Mossman and Joseph Darmanin, and the contact person is Semjase. Okay, 72nd contact Thursday, 3rd of February, 3 February, that's Billy's birthday. 3 February 1977 at 0007 hours. In other words, just after midnight. Semjase, you are 40 years old today, for which I and all of us offer the best wishes to you. Billy, thank you. However, I am not here for that reason. Here I have brought with me a new map of Switzerland, in order to mark in the earthquake zones. Semjase, I want to remind you today about this because time begins to press. You must yourself slowly try to endeavor to find a suitable place where you can secure yourselves. Already in 1975, I spoke about a suitable center for you about which you must now seek for yourselves. Look here in this screen. These delineations, render them on your map while we talk to one another. Here, this zone contains the mountain block, which is suitable for a settlement. If you do not settle yourselves here in these shaded areas, shaded zones. These here, mark them as primary zones because in the future they are extremely strongly at risk of severe earth-shaking changes, while here, these secondary zones are those into which you are not allowed to settle. Here, this is a volcano region, and the zone here around it is severely endangered in the future if the volcano again awakens to activity, which is to say, will certainly not occur very soon. You should absolutely avoid this long stretching zone here because this, like nearly all flat land in the north of Switzerland, will be destroyed by possible later atomic fire during war actions. If the ancient prophecies should be fulfilled, which, however, is to hope that this does not happen. There in the north, here in the west, and there in the south, and in the middle land are the most secure zones for you as well as for the future. Do not settle, or do settle somewhere down there and then build a center. The most secure location, which you can choose, lies here between both of these secondary quake zones and this volcano zone, although, however, you have to remain in this narrow channel between these zones. Here, this is also the location which is predestined for the center, and where also a suitable building and necessary grounds exists, as you indeed already know for years. Billy, you speak very easily about this because this means huge difficulties for us. First is the problem of the property and the site, which we must find, and second, then the problem of the finances. The suitable property might, in fact, surely cost up to 500,000 francs, and from where we should get hold of this capital, this is a riddle to me. Semjase, reasoning will smooth the path for you, and besides, we will also be sending out reason-bearing impulses to all of those who decisively want to take part in this, in order to take care of the financial matter. We will be sending out impulses of truth from which they will quite correctly recognize the truth and the necessity of the undertaking. Okay, and on the Future of Mankind, www.futureofmankind.co.uk/Billy_Meyer/contact_report/_072, they have a map here showing Switzerland, and she's pointed out several areas that are not going to be good. She's saying some areas are going to be good ones, and they're trying to find out a place where that won't be affected by problems in the future. Billy, only then when this turns out well. Semjase, there will be no coercion wielded because all, through their own reasoning and their own wills, have to make the decision. Furthermore, every individual works for their own evolution, not just in this life, but already for the next rebirths as well. Many of your group will find their next incarnations as new personalities in the center as built by you, which will be steered with our and your help, as well as by the center built by you, for which we will give you the instructions. Also, we will monitor the building of the center into appropriate form, give you detailed instructions, and stand by your side with good advice. Billy, you speak calmly about great things, girl. Am I allowed at least to know who will have the next incarnations in the center and in what period? Semjase, surely I can mention some to you. Some of the present group will spend an extremely short time in the beyond area before they come to the center and join into the group as other personalities through a rebirth into physical form. The first of the present members will again incarnate as another person into the group between the years 2012 and 2025, others between 2033 and 2036, and the rest between the years 2045 and 2072, always assuming that everything fulfills itself. The reason for this rapid succession is that the work is not allowed to lie fallow and must be continued forward so that the knowledge, despite all coming confusion and maliciousness, slowly spreads over your world, because only as a result will those of the enormously further growing humanity grasp the knowledge and be guided onto the path of true evolution. Moreover, the tasks of the individuals are very different, and often they themselves hardly recognize them. However, they are important and far-reaching, as in the future as already in the present as well, even if the individual is still not able to recognize this, as I already said. Billy, however, you leave out the names of those who incarnate again so soon, yet you said that you are allowed to mention some names. Semjase, surely, despite a desertion of the group and the mission, and despite nasty betrayal among others, the first will be Olga, Amada, Claire, and Elsa, who again will incarnate as female life forms, if all is actually fulfilled, which, however, partly is in question. Their names and personalities, however, as you know, will no longer be the same, but such of a special type, which today on Earth would sound strange, and which I am not officially allowed to mention. Thus, however, it will also be with all of the others, with Engelbert, who again will appear as a male life form between 2053 and 2066, when at the same also Margaret will incarnate as a male life form, as well as also Herbert, however, always assuming that everything fulfills itself, and then as new personalities. Between 2065 and 2072, then Jacobus, Marcel, Calliope, Conrad, Hans, Paula, and Pauli appear again, in addition to several further persons whose names are unknown to you, who, however, in the course of the near future and next few years will still come to meet you. Also, leaving and betraying group members are also in the next life with new personalities, not to be ruled out, and who again will confront the group and the mission if all finds its correction, which, however, is often in question. Billy, this is really quite interesting. However, you state nothing about my littleness, which will certainly be of interest to all. Semjase, but you know of this. Billy, of course, but it would be more interesting if you explained it. Semjase, you know that regarding this, I am not officially allowed to explain everything. Billy, I know this, but can you at least tell just what you are allowed to explain? Semjase, surely, you know how and at what point in time you will depart from all others unexpectedly and unassumingly from the worldly living area, and you know it is not allowed to be spoken. It is not allowed to be spoken about this. However, so also is it is not allowed to be explained at what point in time you will again reappear, or you will appear again. This precaution rests in the knowledge that an idol would be made of you if the dates would come to be known. It is only allowed to be known that you will again be, in around 800 years, the center point of your innermost group, as this already existed in earlier times on various occasions and also exists today. As you, however, have already explained in earlier times, you wanted your mission to be fulfilled up to the end. Consequently, you, respectively, your spirit form from the next few millennia cannot once again stay away prolonged years in the beyond area, but in rapid form, repeatedly at various locations on Earth, you incarnate, or it incarnates, in order to fulfill tasks with other peoples and races of your world, whereby you certainly, as a new personality, also will appear again in contact with your now existing group, which indeed will further spread itself. The dates of these contact happenings and of your rebirth I am not allowed to mention, as you know. The members belonging to your group will recognize you with each appearance, as well as these themselves amongst one another. Certain precautions should also be taken about this, which I will give you later, however, which are not officially allowed to be known. I am not allowed to explain more in official form, and likewise not are you, outside of your closest group circle, even if you want to. Billy, I know this. Thanks for your information. Now, however, still a further question in connection to this. There are quite many who belong loosely to our group. Are our descendants as well? What about them? Semjase, all of your descendants come again sooner or later to the group, partly already by the year 2067, because some will already soon leave this world in order to undertake certain tasks with rebirths as new personalities after a really short absence. The still looser members belonging to the group, as you call them, will incarnate again on different occasions already by the year 2065, partly in your center, yet the majority outside. Such, however, that they first will come to the group only after they have become independent. Billy, this should be enough information. So now I am finished with the marking in. Is it correct? Semjase, surely, only you should draw in later all of these zones according to their value separately on suitable maps. Billy, okay, I will do this. However, now a question. Harold is with Jacobus, as I indeed have already said to you before you landed. Can you perhaps once again allow them to hear the sound of the ship when flying away? Semjase, surely. Billy, good, thank you. But how is it with him concerning the incarnation? Also, Dolphy, Helga, Mara, and Martin would interest me. Renato and Mariella as well. Semjase, Mariella and Helga will again be female life forms and incarnate between 2068 and 2071. Mara changes to a male life form, while Martin, Dolphy, and Renato retain their gender. They all appear again as new personalities first after the year 2110, as in fact also all of the others. 2110. Billy, aha, and where will they see again the light of the world? Semjase, Mariella and Helga will be under certain circumstances be in the center, while all of the others are to be outside of it, but will eventually come to the group, although some of them will be born thousands of kilometers away. Billy, thanks for the information. There would then still be Playa and Guido. What about them? Semjase, are you thinking here about Anke? A-N-K-E. Billy, naturally. Semjase, both will be born outside of the center. The girl after the year 2090 and the man after the year 2081, after which he then again finds the final path to the group. Consequently, Guido will not be far from the center and comes to the group, while with Anki the matter is still not clear. However, there are new personalities to consider. There are the new personalities to consider. Okay. Billy, why not? I mean, Anki. Semjase, she herself is still not clear in regard to certain things. However, she also might stay away from the center in the manner that she only occasionally appears there, because she will not leave this world there, because she soon goes another way. Billy, so that's it. Is it that in departing from life in the center, is it then necessary for certain things? Semjase, surely, because in order to be able to incarnate in the center, there is needed a certain help of each individual. This is connected to the Sohar center, which requires that each determined day, a certain action and a certain thought process must be carried out by each individual group member, as a result of which, first, the aim-directed incarnation with the destination of the rebirth in the center location or in the nearby surrounds can be successful. Billy, now I understand. The intended Sohar center is then probably a swinging wave and radiation center with some energies and crystals, etc., yes? Semjase, surely it is so. Billy, then I know about it. Something similar I know already from a Himalayan monastery where certain gurus, true masters, determine their birthplace as new personalities. It is an incarnational trend. Semjase, stop, for you know that you are officially not allowed to mention this. Okay, let me read that again. We're not supposed to know this, but Billy, then I know about it. Something similar I know already from a Himalayan monastery where certain gurus, true masters, determine their birthplace as new personalities. It is an incarnational trend. And Semjase says, stop, for you know that you are officially not allowed to mention this. I gotta say one thing that my old master, Master Bitam, he mentioned that with enough meditation and whatever, you could determine where you would be. You could determine where your spirit goes in the next life. But anyway, Billy, excuse me, it was not intended. Semjase, this should be enough for today as well. Billy, okay, I am quite tired. Some sleep would truly do me good. Live well and receive still quite dear greetings from all to you. Semjase, quite dear thanks. I am very pleased with all and also pay my heartfelt greetings and love to everyone. Billy, okay, this I will not forget. Goodbye, girl. Hopefully you do come quite soon again. Semjase, if you wish it, then you can call me, but you know this. Currently, I am not so very much burdened with work. Consequently, I again can turn myself a little to your wishes. Billy, wonderful. Really dear thanks for this. Then goodbye and come back soon. Semjase, goodbye. And that is the end of Contact Report 72. They talk about the people that are in the center being reincarnated either in the center or out through the world, but it's not only Billy's mission, but it's their mission as well. Lots of stuff. And they talk about, Billy mentions that one of the Himalayan monasteries, they talk about if you meditate enough and you do things correctly, eventually you get to where you can choose where you are reincarnated. And my old master, his Vovi meditation, which is what I kind of got started out with, he's mentioned the same thing, that you can be reincarnated wherever you want if you strengthen your spirit enough. Anyway, that's in the past, and this was Contact Report 72, and I'll see you again on 73. I kind of apologize for the last one, 71. I know 71 was kind of rough to hear, but as Semjase says, the truth is never easy. We'll see. We'll see. All right. Have a good day. See you. Bye.